Hi everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel and to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are building a sunny yellow tiny townhouse. Yes, I did write that down and I did have to think that through when I said it because it is a little bit of a tongue twister. I wanted to build something a little bit different to what I have been building. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I've been building a lot of larger family houses at the moment, quite suburban and just larger ones owing to the fact that we have grown together. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of gameplay and other things now for the whole family and, of course, infants. But I've really been wanting to build something a little bit smaller, and that's why I've been building some apartments recently as well. But I wanted to build a house, and this was actually my second attempt at a build today because I built this earlier from when I was doing this voice recording. And my first attempt was not a small house. And so I gave up and I said, right, I'm going to try and build something on a small lot, and so I'm here on a 20 by 15 lot. I'm actually building in Brychester, which is the world that we got with the expansion pack, Discover University. And I actually really love this world. I don't know if it's because I'm British and it reminds me so much of worlds I actually know, given that I believe it's based on like a British university town. But yeah, I really love it, and I actually really love some of the lots here, especially these little townhouse lots. And so I thought, right, I'm going to come and build a townhouse. And then when I was putting it together, I thought, what if I make it a tiny house? Can I sort of do that within 100 tiles? And as it turns out, I can. This house comes out at exactly 100 tiles. And it is a 2-bedroom house. And you'll see that it took me quite a while to actually get the floor plan right. And part of that was because I was really trying to figure it out, and I knew I wanted to have 2 bedrooms in this because I wanted it to kind of be like maybe a second home. So as well as wanting it to be 2 bedrooms, I also had a budget in mind. I wanted to sort of aim for about the 50,000 simoleon mark. And actually I came pretty close. I believe the budget, the actual price for this on the gallery is about 52,000 simoleons, I think, off the top of my head. So all in all, I think I got pretty close to the kind of thing that I was aiming for, and I'm actually really pleased about it. As I was going through, I found the Strangerville. All of these windows and the doors are from Strangerville, and I really love them. I think they work really, really well in this setting and with this kind of townhouse build. And as I was going through, I just thought, I want to do like the small bedroom for an infant. I was open to doing either an infant or a child in this house. And I did an infant, and then I saw the yellow and I thought, well, why don't I make it based on a sunny infant? And so this is how we ended up where we are, with this exterior that is grey and yellow. And I went through so many different wallpapers trying to make this exterior work because I just didn't know which one I wanted to use. And it was like that last one there from Get Together, it just seems so busy and so like in your face. And with the yellow, I wanted something a little bit more subtle. And I think I actually end up with one of these here from Cottage Living. I end up with this brick and I end up putting some yellow paneling here on the little bump out, like the little hexagonal thing at the front, and I think it's really nice. It adds just like an extra layer to it. And I'm just going through now and I'm adding some of the roof decor. I actually leave it quite simple, and I'm actually really, really pleased with how this turned out and the way it looks. There's a nice little like back garden. Well, it's on the side, but you know what I mean. There's this nice little side garden that has both like a little barbecue area, and I think it ends up with a few planters. And now inside, I'm really, really quite pleased with how this turned out. So we have like the main bedroom here at the bottom. What is a nursery, I guess you could say, is here in the top left. And then you have the bathroom. I'm just going through now and I'm just sort of changing the wallpapers, trying to see what works. I do change some of these because it ended up feeling very like, wow. And kind of not in a good way as I was going through some of the wallpapers. Although I did really, really try and use this bluebird one from, I think it's the Decor to the Max kit. And it was quite like out there. And I feel like yellow is quite one of those like wow colours as well. Like it's a really bright, in your face, lovely colour. And so it was like sort of trying to pair it with things that weren't quite so wow and in your face was actually really quite difficult. And this is where the paranormal wallpaper came in. The white one is maybe, like, ironically, a bit more in your face than all these really bright colours. And I think it's because you can see the pattern so much more clearly on the white one than what you can on the others. So, yeah, I changed them. And I do actually bring this yellow one through into the master bedroom upstairs, and I left it because, honestly, I loved it. this is the little living area here, and it is very small. It is very cramped, and I messed around with the sofas really too much in my head. I did cut a smidgen of it out because I had a lot of where I was like just paused and scrolling, trying to figure it out. In the end, I do stay with this small one from high school years, but I used the white version of it, which is just here, and these are the final colours here in the living room. And I did it because it felt like too much. Like I had such vibrant yellow on the walls. I didn't feel like I really needed it as much here in the area, like in the main living area, which is why I changed the colour of the playmat as well, because the yellow one was like quite yellow. But I really did like how the rug from the pastel pop kit sort of tied it all together with like the lighter yellow sort of colouring. And as you can see, I have done this for an infant. But there is a newborn bassinet upstairs in the master bedroom because, like I said, I imagined this, I wanted it to be like a 50,000 simoleon house, but sort of like, and I like the perks that you get with the tiny houses as well. So it feels like a good sort of medium-sized home. And the layout for it was really difficult. Actually, it took me really quite a while to sort of try and get it right. But I think in the end I did, and I'm really quite happy with it. I like the way it's laid out. You've got a nice kitchen area. There's a couple of chairs in there. You've got like this little desk corner here with the mat for the baby that you can just kind of put them on if you're working and they're happy. And then you've got like the nice little living area, which of course, as you know, your Sims kids get a bit older and, you know, you can change that out as you need to. And this is probably the first time I've actually really been happy that these frames came in this garish yellow because it fit really well with this. And it sort of struck me as I was moving here into the kitchen and I was putting the kitchen counters in, was that if you're the kind of player who likes legacies or you play challenges and you're playing the Not So Berry, this is perhaps like a good base house for that as well, because there's a lot of yellow in. And obviously the Not So Berry challenge is where like everything is yellow except like their skin colour. And so yeah, I thought like as well at the same time as, you know, me building this with a Sunny Infinite in mind, that it could also work for the Not So Berry challenge, which I thought was quite fun as well at the same time. Although I think that's the astronaut career, isn't it? I've never played it, but I've obviously watched Little play it. Little Simsy play it, and I've watched other people play it as well. And I enjoy watching people play it, but you know, I'm not really a big game player. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, and you might need to change your stuff out for that. But if you're looking for one for Not So Berry, I think this is the kind of house that would actually work really well. And I don't often build with the medium wall height, and I will be completely honest, I didn't even realise this was on medium walls until I was going in with the windows and they looked really small and these doors fit. And so I kind of rolled with it in the end because I think like townhouses are quite tall, and so it was the kind of thing that worked. And although they are the short wall height upstairs, I really liked this actually in the kitchen because as well as having the counters, it felt like there was just so much space for the windows, and it allowed me to have like a couple of these shelves for like this bit of open storage, which I think was a really nice touch and added like a bit of like that homely feel to it. In really what is objectively quite a small kitchen. It's only 3 tiles wide, although it is, 6 tiles long. It's only 6 by 3. And really for my kitchens, I tend to sort of go for bigger kitchens than that. And I put sort of islands in, and all I really wanted to do there was just make sure there was enough room for a little table and chairs, and obviously the high chair so you can feed the infants in, because there's like the whole gameplay with the infants. Now, I actually realised looking at this, and I didn't realise this until I was in here and playtesting, I forgot to put a trash can in the build. But like I said, I did remember it when I was playtesting, and it was thanks to my infant needing her diaper changed that I realised I had nowhere to drag it. So I just do like a little bit of a jig there over on the left side. You can see that like where the high chair is, I just kind of move everything around a little bit, and I put a small trash can over there. So you can do that. I don't think I added one outside. So if you want to add one outside, you may have to do that. But yeah, I completely forgot to do that. So I'm just adding a little bit of clutter here on the desk area. I tried to make it feel like it was both like a work and, oh my God, there's a kid here kind of space. Because I know for a while when my kids were young, like their stuff was just everywhere. There was like a toy or something here. And I'm into the master bedroom now upstairs, and I saw that bed under the yellow filter, and I was like, yes, this is the bed. Yes, I absolutely have to use it. And that it didn't work with the walls, and so I begrudgingly had to give up on the bird wallpaper that I am now determined to put somewhere in a build. and I went to the paranormal one because it's just such a gorgeous, vibrant yellow that worked really well with the big yellow flowers. And it was at this point that I decided that over there in the corner, I really wanted to put a newborn bassinet, because I had in my mind this was maybe like a single sim or a couple who were maybe going into like their second home. And like I said, that was the budget I had in mind at around 50,000 simoleons, that this is the kind of home you would move into after your starter home. And of course you get the boon of like the tiny home boosts that you get, where you get like extra skills, and I can't remember exactly what it is for the tier 3 tiny home. But yeah, so I was thinking about this, that, you know, you might need a space for a newborn if it's just a couple moving in and they don't actually have a baby yet. And that little corner was just the perfect spot to put it, rather than like another plant or a light or something. And then I just thought I would put like a little seating area here at the end. I do actually change the swatch of that chair so it's plain white, because with the poof, I think that's from the movie Hangout stuff pack, I really liked it and I thought it tied in the colours, but then it seemed a bit much with the chair that matched the bed. So you see there, I've just changed that, and I'm just popping a candle and a rock salt lamp down and trying to find something over the bed. I do go with the mirror from Parenthood. I think it just sort of breaks up the craziness, because this house is a little bit maximalist and it's not really a style I do sort of tend to go for. Despite my love of colour, I tend to go for quite simple things. I don't use a lot of like massively patterned wallpapers and stuff like I have here. And actually, compared to the rest of the house, the bathroom there is really quite lame. So we're into the nursery now. I'm trying to fit in the changing table, and then I realised I couldn't if it had the bin attached. And quite honestly, there's no point using the changing table without the bin, because if it doesn't have the bin, then they're just going to throw the diaper on the floor anyway. And it's like, well, they do that when they just sort of throw the baby in the air and magically swivel them around. So I decided not to go for that. It wasn't the best use of the very small space that we have here. So I decided that a couple of skill building items for an infant and a toddler were probably better off, because, and I think I've said this before in another video, if you have a high enough handiness skill, you can actually work on this crib and you can convert it into a toddler bed. So, you know, this whole space here, you can actually just really quite easily upgrade for a toddler when your infant ages up. And I think that's a really nice touch that you can do that. I don't know if you can do it with the others. I haven't seen anybody mention it and I haven't tested it myself, because again, I only really gameplay to sort of play test the builds. So, and I do actually change out the rug there, as I've been dying to use one of these cookie rugs from the pastel pop kit, but I just haven't sort of found anything to make it work yet. So I think in my next build, I might try and do like a kids or like a toddler bedroom or something, like a little bedroom that is based solely around like one of these cookie rugs. And yeah, so this was it. I was trying to find one there, and I went for one of the new ones that we got with base game, because I just thought it sort of brightens the room up a little bit more and it added like a little pop of colour. And just a couple of speed build items there. A couple of speed build? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My cat has just been using the litter tray and it's completely distracted me. A couple of skill building items there. There we go. The easel and the guitar up in the hallway. I didn't really know what to put there and I didn't want to leave it empty, to be perfectly honest. And so I thought, well, when in doubt, put an easel and a guitar. So that's exactly what I did. As you can see, we've now moved on to the outside. I have used the flower boxes from Get Together, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised by how the back staircase turned out. Because I had, of course, reached 100 tiles before I put the back door from the kitchen in, I just used the stairs, and they do work. They are functional if you just put them against the door like that, because like the top level of them acts as like the patio almost. And so I did that, and then I was trying to put the fencing in, and I realised because of the way it was, because I'd used the stairs, I couldn't fence it without putting up the foundation. And so I just thought, oh, I'll just pull it out twice because I need sort of something at the back. And then it looked really good. And I actually really liked it because it negated the need to have railings, which is just as well, because as you'll see, I discovered when I was doing the front here, there is no matching railing for that fence. And if that isn't just the bane of my existence, I don't know what is. So I changed to the other ones from Strangerville that do in fact have a matching pair. And I'm just doing a little bit of landscaping here now, and I'm going through, as you can see, I've just moved that to putting a little driveway. I do go into debug and I use one of the cars. That's actually, I think, from Get Together. The pack with Windenburg, and they call it like the Euro car. I don't know. I've never seen it, but it was really cool. And because I've never used it and it's bright yellow, I thought it just worked here really well. I'm just now, as you can see, I've gone into the backyard and I'm just doing a little bit of decorating. I liked the little patio area and the little grass area. So you've got like a little barbecue area there for like your adult sims, and you've got a few like planters if you've got somebody who, you know, for gardening skills. Of course, you can always remove them, but I think they're like a pretty basic thing I put in. And then I realised that there isn't really much to do for infants outside, but I kind of wanted it to be prepared for a family anyway, because like I said, you can easily just change that. Yes, I did at that point realise that bees were not a good idea next to a toddler slide. So there we go. I settled on the slide that we got with a pre-order bonus from Growing Together. I think it was the pre-order bonus. A pretty basic monkey bars. That's what they're called. Oh my gosh, I've been literally trying to think of that for the last 2 minutes. And because I knew what I was putting down. And the paddling pool from Seasons. I thought that was pretty good. It went across the generations. We are coming to the end now, and I'm trying to fill these big gaps on the build. It is on the gallery, and like I said, it is play tested and everything works and it is completely fine. So if you want to go ahead and download it, my gallery ID is EmmaHart121. And yeah, I think it's called exactly what it is on the YouTube video title. I'm not going to say it again because I will mess it up and embarrass myself, and my words have not worked. So anyway, like I said, we're coming to the end of the video now. If you've enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I have loads more speed builds. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!